Adam, I appreciate Adam. I met Adam through Alex at the Wave, which was a free co-working office that Michael Red owned. And Michael Red is a legend here in Columbus. Grew up here and took Ohio State to the Final Four in 1999, and then went to the Milwaukee Bucks. And they traded Ray Allen and made him the franchise player. And he signed a $100 million contract. Doesn't drink, smoke, or cuss. Owns a church. That's kind of like my mentor. And then through that, we did Collaborate and Elevate. They started Clarify. We did 20 plus events. I wasn't really concerned with making any money because of my agency, StopWatch Creative. And that was pretty much on cruise control until March of COVID. And then, that's when we rolled out a membership for Collaborate and Elevate. And now it's over 70 members. We welcomed someone from the Philippines yesterday. A majority have paid for the year. We have several people. We have someone from Mombasa. We have someone from Toronto, Dallas, Houston, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Atlanta, Boston, Cali, all over the place right now. A lot of people getting a lot of value. That's really what I'm focused on. I'm just focused on retention. Our retention 74 divided by 79, basically. So we have a pretty good retention with Collaborate and Elevate. We at StopWatch, we had the best year we've ever had. We have the most coming in that we've ever had. I would say our deal structure is different. I think we really figured out what we're good at and what we do. And I also lost 40 pounds last year. Like this time last year, I was 220 pounds. Right now I'm at 170. So it's about 50 really. So for me, last year was all mind, body, soul, work on myself, take care of everything. I do believe business is easy. I do believe competition is for losers. If you're a business, if we're athletes, competition is everything. But in business, what are we competing for? So that's kind of how I am. That's where I'm at. Things are going really well. For me, it's just all about like mind, body, soul, really, like, because how can you manage, millions if you can't manage, thousands? So right now it's doing what, figuring out processes. We're actually updating Stopwatch Creative right now. I'm tired of looking at the site. I want it to be a little bit more, I want to show, like right now we have 12 examples of the work that we do. We have a lot of things that we do. We're going to clean that up. Just 4 examples, 4 case studies, narrow it down, because I know who our target clients are. And Collaborating Elevates is storytelling. There's a lot, like, so remember Anthony Reynolds. I don't know if you know him, Adam. He's a brother, black guy from here, had a full-time job at Chase. He became a Collaborating Elevate member in at the end of the summer. At that point, the first thing he wanted me to do is revise his business plan. So I looked at it, I like shattered it. I put him in front of someone else. They destroyed it. He worked on it. 4 months later, August, September, October, November, December. So yeah, last month he just closed around a little less than $500,000 from some angel investors in Columbus and in Denver. He's in Denver right now. So that's a super awesome story. It's just happening now. He put his 2 weeks in Chase, all in full time. We have another member. She's a lawyer. Probably referred her well over $5,000 in new business. So and she's only she's paying $5 a month. And we have a lot of just little examples like that. Connecting people to jobs. So a lot of it, I think, with Collaborate and Elevate, it's kind of like figuring out how to achieve, like how to scale more. I think for me, I have an insatiable, I think that's the word, but essentially I have a really big appetite for growth. And it's like, okay, well, we should be getting 5 new members a day. I think by what we're doing, we got people from Philippines, like I have one of my best friends' name is Paulo Mico Cordero. He owns High Poke. You might know him, Adam. They own High Poke restaurant. He's from the Philippines. Every day, almost every day, this guy texts me, asks me for help, He hasn't signed up for Collaborate Elevate. I'm like, look, it's not a big deal, but it's like, it would help me. And then it was just, I really think God was just playing a joke on me. and I just see a sign up Paulo, and I'm thinking it's him. And I go and look on LinkedIn, and it's Apollo from the Philippines. They don't even know each other. So it's just little things like that that, you know, make me laugh and remind me that things are going. Um, but high level, like look how much spam we get on LinkedIn. You know, that's what we're trying to build. We're trying to really connect people to opportunities without all the spam. And I say spam, but really it's like scams. Like people are actively trying to scam you on LinkedIn. That's the reality. They're trying to take money. Who they're trying to do? There are many. I get inundated with leads and requests. You know, Instagram. So it's just junk all around, right? I think high level, like look at America. I mean, do I even need to say anything? So I think high level, we're just trying to really build a community and connect people. And like I mean, it's hard to describe the gratification that I have, honestly, because it's you know, I'm seeing the success, um, and again, like I said, the retention's incredible. I've never had a product where this many people are paying me, you know, and it's really not about the amount. It's just about the volume, and then the comments, you know, and it's like it's daily. It's like now I'm like, look, when I get a compliment, I'm like, can I just put this on the website? Because I don't want to just keep this in. I want to share this with other people. So now I'm trying to get a lot more members to give video testimonials, um, tell their friends, right. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm trying to achieve, you know, scale, and the only way to do that is to have exponential organic growth. You know, we're not doing any paid ads. um, that's kind of where we're at, really. And the only way that happens is by delivering value, and then the only way that happens is by word of mouth. So really, I'm just focused on helping people, and you know, and like even like I'm gonna bring up Alex, right? Alex and Tom, both of them, they're not members, but they know each other through the events, you know. So it's a lot of it is, you know, and everyone says this, right? You can't really look too hard at the people you know for. So I think that's what it is too. I think like this year, it's like okay, like or just working on like not letting anything kind of like affect your emotions, like what you know, like really working on that. And I have people I talk to, you know, like full nine. You know, I have a yoga person that we do one-on-ones. I have a mental health person. I have a full body massage person, you know. So for me, you know, I don't have any kids, so it's like, you know, whatever I pay for rent, I'll pay for that in my body, and like to improve, you know, I feel like if I do this much in rent, I'm gonna work, put that much on in my body. So, um, but I think that's kind of it right now. Just really, you know, like I have a chart, a calendar right in front of me, daily sales, you know, and it's something I look at on a daily basis, you know. So, um, we're doing outreach everywhere now. I mean, we're on TikTok, Clubhouse. I don't know if you guys are on Clubhouse.
Nope, not yet, not yet. I haven't jumped into that. Man, your energy is wild right now. I just got to say this. You say you don't know how to express gratitude, but your energy is just conveying right now to all of us and everybody that's going to listen to this. Obviously, last year was a crazy year. I think I was one of your last events last year, before the world just shut down. And the fact that you pivoted, and when we talked, what, I guess it was fall, you were still figuring stuff out, and Collaborate and Elevate was taking off, and StopWatch was getting, you know, some real groove going on in a year where everybody was trying to drive online and technical connections. And I love the impact, like focus that you've got with Collaborate and Elevate. I mean, your entire focus is to create impact and outreach. You're reaching in and bringing people into a community, and I like that. And I like what you've shared. I like the fact that your community members can see some of the news and the articles and updates. And man, if your energy is always like this, no wonder it's growing, right? No wonder.
Hey, yeah, sorry to interrupt, but we, as in, I think Jesse, Jonathan, and I are wondering if you could talk a bit more about Collaborate and Elevate. And Adam, maybe you were going to get to that. And then kind of how your business model works.
It's important that you guys all understand. Stopwatch Creative is a full service marketing and tech agency. We've been in business now 4 years. We help the guy sell his company, Proteon Software, who's local, for a couple million. You know, in 2018, I always tell people in 2018 is really the year we kind of made with StopWatch. I was in a different city every 2 weeks doing experiential marketing, running teams. So, StopWatch Creative is essentially kind of like the bread and butter. And then, we started working with Victoria's Secret. Like we do their internal design decks that they share to their CEOs and stuff. And then essentially what happened, in 2018, I'm hanging out with Michael Redd. We're literally like when Movie Pass is going viral, Hame Watt, like I go to Santa Monica and I'm hanging out with all these guys at Upfront Ventures. I started getting inundated with, hey Manny, how did you do this? How do you start a company? Hey Manny, can you connect me with Michael? I need 25,000. Hey Manny, I saw you're at Rev One. I need 250,000. I need this. I need that. And I was having coffee. I was having so many coffee meetings every single day. I was getting dehydrated. And then it was actually what really a restaurant, someone that owns a restaurant, two partners both reached out to me separately, and they were in tears asking me to help them. And then that night I went to play basketball at Michael Redd's house because he has a basketball court in his house, and they could tell that something was wrong with me. And then I was like, look, to be honest, this is what's wrong with me. And then I told them what I just told you guys. I'm like, look, I'm trying to run my agency, but I have everyone asking me to connect me with you, and they need money. And then now I got these people telling me about this. And then they're like, look, we want to help. We want to hear these problems. Let's do all this together. So when this started, it was actually a 33 business. And it was just all about bringing people together. And look, instead of you asking Manny if you could help money for Michael, just ask Michael directly. So that's kind of was the basis. Instead of you asking for Rev One, from my perspective, Columbus, you could get a meeting with anyone. You could get a meeting with anyone. It's are you prepared for the meeting, and are you even ready for that meeting? I think that's where people are at. So that was Collaborate and Elevate from the start. That's all we did, essentially. Now we pivot, right? And I was completely fine with doing these events, and someone from Nationwide Children's walking in, they see it and they want to hire our agency to do strategy. That was the business model. I didn't really care about monetizing. When COVID happened, everything changed at the end of the day. It became evident to me that what Collaborate and Elevate was a glorified event company, really. That's all we were doing. We're putting on events. So we had to, I was going to shut it down, to be honest with you. I was really like, okay, like let me, I was paused. I canceled the March event. And then I started to get a lot of messages, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. So the only way to figure out how to keep it going and conserve my energy, right? That's when we rolled out the $4.95 a month, $47.95 for the whole year. And then instead of events, because events are done, that's where Adam is mentioning, that's where the news article or the news section came from. So now that content, at the end of the day, and it's sharing stuff that I think the community would be interested, but also really where we're at. So like business, startup news, who's getting investments, and then also relevant information like Rework. I don't know if you guys read that book, but that's a book that Mark Cuban said he'll invest in an entrepreneur if they read that over an MBA from Harvard, and it's only like 200 pages. But a lot of people, so sharing books like that, sharing anything this week in startups, really at this point. And then essentially, and then that's really what it is. People start signing up left and right. We have had a couple of advertisers as well. So essentially we're building up the media platform. So we're on social media, all the social media. Our website is kind of like that main platform. There is no app or anything like that yet. And then we do email marketing. And then based off of our network and who we know, where people are at, and it's important to note that I have a list of every single minority business in the state of Ohio, every single accredited investor in the state of Ohio. I am a partner. My agency is a partner with Rev One Ventures, who is technically still number one right now. Obviously, Drive Capital is number one, but technically Rev One's number one when it comes to community startup. Innovate New Albany. Like I have access to all this kind of deal flow. And again, from my perspective, from everyone wants to help. Everyone wants to make money. It's a matter of, are you ready for that opportunity? And also, is your business or your team right? So essentially, that's what Collaborate and Elevate is, here's Anthony Reynolds, for example. He wants to get connected with blase, blase, blase. When Anthony, like, hey, I want to get in front of Michael, da da da. I'm like, okay, well, let me see your deck. If you're not making $1 million a year in ARR, Mike's not going to be interested. But there are a couple other people that are. And that's all it's about, right? Instead of you sending all these cold emails and reaching out to his lawyer and, and that's what people do, It's like, let's simplify all of this, get you into the right place. So that's essentially what Collaborating, I think it's adding value to everything that is there, because now we have a more affordable offering for them. And so from that aspect too, right? And then so I'll even phrase it differently. I'll say any business that is paying for Instagram or Facebook ads. And I'll even say it even more specifically. Any business that has a budget of less than 10,000 a month, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, I think that's a good business to become a member and see what happens. We're more so, I think right now, like the business model will change, but for us, we want to get to 1,000 members or so before, we might grandfather everyone in at that cost. There are many different things we can do. And I talked to a few VCs already, but right now our main focus is the retention, acquisition, and then having an offering, and then having a community where we could help each other. That's the main thing. One thing too, Adam, that is probably noteworthy is, like, I joined 3 boards last year too. So I joined City Pulse, Columbus Young Professionals, and then Columbus Impact Academy. We're very much a startup. I just think that most startups fail if you're not focused on customer acquisition. So for me, it's okay. I know what the offering is. I know what we could do. So I'm more so concerned with volume, really kind of for validation, for traction. I don't think we're at track. We're not, what I mean? I don't think this company has achieved kind of that, stickiness just yet. I think we still need a little bit more ways to go. I think our offering is incredible, but I don't think, and again, maybe it's marketing, maybe it's, so I think that's kind of where we're at right now.
What you have is impact and engagement at a community level, right? You're connecting people, and that's powerful as it stands already. And you're kind of running with your hair on fire right now, right? You're just kind of moving through the motions because people just want and need you. They need this positive energy. They need this connection, these deal flows. But on top of that, you're offering them visibility, which I think is very powerful right now. Because like you said, we're inundated on these other platforms, and some people are burned out. They're burned out from doom scrolling on Facebook or being on Instagram or even LinkedIn now. And so when they find a community like what you've got, and you have mastermind groups and meetups, you didn't mention that, but you have these meetups where people can connect and learn from each other. And then the info you've got in your membership is palatable and digestible. And that's a lot. I mean, seriously, that is a lot. If I can read and understand and learn and maybe elevate my perspective, especially like with Clarify, the connections that we made just being a part of your group and the people we met gave us confidence to continue to push forward in a world where we were scared to death, scared to death that we've never done it before. So I have to appreciate you for that. And that's what I love about community. And that's why we wanted you to be on, because I wanted to hear how 2020 went for you, because I knew it was an exciting and in a year where you pivoted and changed so much. And I've just seen so much success come out of that. And I feel like the members that Open We Stand want to hear that. I mean, you're awesome, man. I just got to say that.
Oh yeah, I can't, the amount of information that, it was just like so actionable. You know what I mean? Like the amount of information that you provided that is not only was a great depiction of your journey and how you got to where you are right now, but even just like hearing your ideas on what to do if you have a budget less than $10,000. Like that is such a practical, actionable thing that small business owners, anyone in this community who is literally just starting a business and isn't even thinking about, shit, my budget, I got to think about that. Having that kind of easily digestible information, like this alone was so valuable. And the fact that you have a service that you offer where people can have access to this kind of thing, and people just, who are in this community as well, it's really remarkable. It's really, really remarkable, Manny, truly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And I tell people, look, I'm really a product of the people I know, you know, especially with everything going on with Collaborate and Elevate, because it's a community element. And you know, I'm excited, you know, and I think it's very needed.
Hmm.
I think it's very needed. There's a lot more I want to do. You know, I have people, that's the thing too. That was the education tangent. You know, there are like educators reaching out now, but I don't, you know, it's a lot of opportunities, but I don't really necessarily understand the lanes and stuff like that. So like that's where it's at. I think, yeah, there's, you know, it's still, you know, I'm getting a lot of requests. Um, so I think it's a too. I think, and that for me, that, you know, this year, I just want to focus on building, collaborating, elevate,
Hmm.
working on stopwatch. You know, believe it or not, I'm still not even where I want to be fitness wise. So it's this year is still, that's essentially what I'm working on. Um, but there's a lot. I want to work with kids under 18. There's a lot that I want to do. I
Yeah.
just think there's so much red tape to get access to them.
I'm really glad you mentioned red tape, by the way, because one of the things that I've seen you do is level the playing field. And that's a big deal. People
Wow.
that never had access to these individuals and felt intimidated now have a platform where they can connect and reach beyond the red tape. Like you said, they're within reach and within reason. And what you built also, I don't know if you realize this, but I know you say you don't know these lanes and this information for people that are asking for this, but there might be people in the network that do. I love that your business community, Collaborate and Elevate, was born from some of the efforts of Stopwatch Creative. And they didn't separate each other. Stopwatch didn't die off. They work in tandem and they collaborate and elevate each other, right? So it's okay to be innovative if it fits with what you've got going on too. And I love that. I love the functionality of the fact that you can be out there and be Manny of Stopwatch Creative and still be connecting people and just kind of let them run with it.
Thank you, Adam. Adam, I appreciate you, honestly, because I think that, you know, so many times everyone like, oh, you do this and you do that, or they work together. That I think what you just said, I mean, no one has said it like that. Um, so yeah, and I think just with clarity, you know, some people just have to see things 7 times before they sign up or whatever. So I understand that, but I appreciate that, and that's how I see it. I think it's two completely separate models, businesses in general, and two completely different offerings. You know, and yeah, they work in tandem. You know, at the end of the day. So no, I appreciate that comment. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, man, I just got to say. And then the other thing I want to mention, I want to be respectful of everybody's time here because we're kind of running low on time. But one of the things I want to talk about is the fact that being on a platform like Collaborate and Elevate gives people the tenacity to speak first, where you get to have conversations. And it's so often we're frozen in fear with sending letters or doing cold calls or sending an email that we actually circumvent our own success, right? We'll draft it, we'll redraft it, we'll draft it, we'll redraft it. We burn time, we burn energy, and we lose faith. And having conversations allows you to feel confident before you ever reach that point. And it's so empowering.
Absolutely, and that's the awesome thing about it too. You know, during the member meetups, just seeing everyone kind of just immediately kind of connect. Oh, you do this, I do that, and you know, whether it's, I mean, we did a talk. I featured a guy, a Blorde Ashigby from he has a company, 4 Degrees AI. That was the last real one that we did in November. He went to Harvard, but he had a really good 2020. Like he was one of the Google's Google. He was one of the first like 12 Black founders in Google's accelerator, and then Google turned around and he was one of the 72 that they invested in as well. And I took, so I went to see Blorde before we did the talk, and I went with Ibrahim, and I don't know if you remember Ibrahim Mohamed, but this is just all about Collaborate and Elevate, really. So Ibrahim is 22, just graduated from Ohio State. He has a company, Courtside Media. He's working with celebrities and professional athletes. And that was just an experience for him to kind of come with. And Ablorde is a black man that raised money from like 11 VCs. He's like a unicorn in America, basically. So like we had lunch with him and picked his brain. That was just at the end of the summer. Today, Abe, right now, and I was there last night. Abe's working with, he's in Columbus, Ohio. His name's Ross Smith. But Ross actually has 40 million followers on all social media platforms. He has, if you ever seen a gangster granny, he has a grandma, she's like 94. He does a lot of like create content. Ross literally is a big influencer. Abe essentially manages him. Ross just bought like a $500,000 production house. And we were just there last night, just brainstorming, but like the energy in that room just is incredible. And it's all based off of Collaborate and Elevate. And and it's honestly, when I started Collaborate and Elevate, it was a mindset that needed to change here in Columbus, period. Because people do not communicate well enough, period. I think that it was just that simple. And I felt that from my experience, the people that are doing well, they all hang out and they all communicate. And it's like, okay, you're going in on that deal. All right, I'll go in on that deal. I'll throw in. So that high level, I just wanted the name. I just wanted people to hear the name and to actually just use that energy. And even if it doesn't attach to, this company, it's more of what I think is needed in this city, for us to kind of really move ahead, Yeah. The reality is, Rachel and Jesse, most people my age, when they hit a little bit of success, they're buying a one-way plane ticket to LA, to Dallas, to Hawaii, right? I mean, when you talk about Tom had an apartment less than a mile away from me. He doesn't want to live here. And I don't blame him, right? Alex, same thing, right? So I think that's, just other than, it's not just the weather. There's more that we got to talk about, that why people don't want to live here. So that's, high level.
Yeah, man, you're right on. You are impacting the environment you live in because excitement is contagious. And I love that. Your excitement is contagious. Your availability to be real with people is contagious. I love that you've shared everything you have with why and how Collaborate and Elevate came to be. I love how humble you were, because it was like, when you came, it was the come to Jesus moment. I'm just a glorified event company. You weren't. I mean, you weren't, but that's cool that you said that, because it lets us know you're real. So I appreciate you. I love the energy. I love the share today. I love the tactical and practical information. I want to be, conscious of everybody's time. Rachel, Jesse, do you guys have any last minute comments you want to, give to Manny, or questions?
I was just going to say thanks, Manny. Like you focusing on community. I mean, that's the world we live in. And so you bringing business people together, it's awesome. All the best, especially on your personal journey and your weight loss. I mean, that is amazing. So keep going. Being healthy is so important. Healthy mind, healthy body helps to be healthy in your business. So
I think I always like to ask is, I'm always big on how people name things, and so StopWatch Creative, how did you what gave you that inspiration?
Thank you. Lenny Burkett, that's my partner. Lenny, best designer that, my eyes saw when it comes to web development. We had a solid 2.5 hour brainstorm session, the bottle, and and there's so many creative companies. So like it was the first idea that kind of popped in, that as soon as we said it, it just made sense. So why the name StopWatch? Essentially, we want to, design things to make you kind of stop and watch, essentially. So that's really where it kind of came from, really. And for, the stop sign, I don't know, we were thinking about it. So we like the pixelated, the Pac-Man feel. Yep. So that was just a 2.5 hour brainstorm. But I'll tell you that we were stuck on Mundega for some reason. Mundega Creative. I'm very happy we didn't select. But because we met each other at Bodega on a Monday, so it was And we also almost went with Manny and Lenny Creative, so happy we didn't do that. But it was really, you know, it was hard to even come up with a name because there's just so many different companies already.
Yep.
But yeah, it was, you know, really that's the thing too. Just in marketing, I think if you do something correctly in marketing, then the consumer is going to stop and they have to really like digest what they just saw, what they read. So that's why StopWatch just, you know, we just love that name and just ran with it.
That's a good question. That was a really good question, Jesse. We appreciate you for that. You know, this is awesome. It's been a good meetup. Manny, I appreciate you. You basically let everybody know that they are capable of so much if they just reach out and connect. And you can go from nobody to knowing the gangster granny. I mean, this has been a fantastic meetup. And I love the energy. Keep building what you're building. Everybody should go over to collaborateandelevate.com. Check it out. It's palatable, digestible, and amazing information. And we appreciate you so much, man.
I appreciate all of you. Thank you. And I look forward to tuning into these this year. Keep it up. Thank you.
Take care. See ya.